Hey now, Brawlers, it's time for another Board Game Brawl review with Nick Minahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com. Hey now, folks, today we are going to take a look at some of the extra stuff and expansions for the game Blood Rage from Cool Mini or Not. Now, some of the stuff that we're going to cover are exclusives that you could get as part of the Kickstarter that I don't think are ever going to come to retail by their very nature. So I feel kind of bad talking about those, but I still think they are worth mentioning, and I will say that kind of stuff is getting better because so many people back Cool Mini or Not projects now that you can actually get some of these extra figures at a reasonable price, not a totally ridiculous price. At least that's what I found with a couple of their last Kickstarters, like Arcadia Quest and such. From that point forward, it seems like the exclusives weren't quite as punishing. But a couple of the things we're going to talk about today should be available at retail eventually. The Gods of Asgard expansion and the Mystics of Midgard expansion should eventually be available at retail. And these are extra modular things you can add into the game or take out or leave it. It's entirely up to you. The exclusive stuff is some of it is actually just purely cosmetic. There's a new clan that you can choose from, which does not allow you to play the game with 5 players. That's a separate expansion that I don't have, the 5th player extension. So I won't be talking about that, but you have the Wild Boar clan, which is another one you can choose from, the Purple clan. You have some little sculpted bits for all the different clans that you can use, all except for the different 5th player extension clan, the Ram, I think. But they're just cosmetic things, that like a sculpted marker to keep track of the different phases of the game and where the Doom token is, so on and so forth. And then there's also new monsters. Those are some of the exclusive things that you're not going to be able to get easily later on. These new monsters that you can control during the course of the game. So let me go ahead and show you all of this stuff. Then we're going to come back and I'll break it down for you. Alright, so let's talk about the Kickstarter exclusive stuff first. First off, you have replacement markers for some of the base bits from the core game. So over here, you have the Doom marker. This is a 3D printed, not 3D printed, but it's a 3D sculpt rather than just the cardboard chit. And then you have the first player marker, a dude holding an axe, and the Saga marker. And I'm not entirely sure we're not using them for the wrong things. I just assume this is the first player marker and the Saga marker. That's what we were using them for. Then there are different little sculpt figures for each of the different clans, including the new clan, which I'll mention in a minute, that replace the little cardboard tokens you use for your clan stats. So these will actually go on your rage, axes, and horns, and also a 4th one to put on your current rage meter. So, and they're all in the different shapes. So you got the wolf, the raven, the serpent, and the bear claw. And then the new faction is the boar clan. This is all of this stuff, by the way, comes in the same box, which the primary feature of which is the Wild Boar clan, which is just like all the other clans. It's just a different color, different sculpted figures, and so on. You have all the purple bases. That is their main color. And then here are the 2 different sculpts of warriors. I'll try to show you as best I can. So there's that guy. And then this one, which actually is one of the coolest sculpts, really. And then their leader. It's that guy. Alright, and then of course their ship, which looks just like the other ships, but it is purple. There you go. Okay, so that's all of all this stuff was, I think, exclusive, and it all came in the same box, the Wild Boar Clan box. But now let me clear this all away, because also exclusive were these happy fellows, who are probably not on camera perfectly. There they are. There are 4 different monsters, and these come in their own separate little boxes. Think of if you've backed Arcadia Quest, they come in singular boxes, or Chaos Ball. And they're all 4 different monsters. They come from different decks. They each have their own card, just like the normal upgrade cards in Blood Rage. 2 of them are from Age 1. 1 of them is from Age 2. 1 of them is from Age 3. You have, let's get as close as I can on these. You have Fenrir, who's my favorite just because I like wolves, and I like to think that this is the wolf spirit from Princess Mononoke. But Fenrir here, he's very cool because what he says is, for his special power, he can... whatever area that he's in is going to be the area that is destroyed by Ragnarok, instead of whatever the actual doomed one is, unless your opponents can kill him. But if he's there, that area is going to be nuked by Ragnarok. So that gives you an amazing amount of control if your play strategy is to kill your warriors in Ragnarok and maximize your points that way. Then you have, which one next? We'll do the Mountain Giant next. This is the Mountain Giant, one of a few different giants that are in the game, actually. Get a little bit more focused on that. And the Mountain Giant's power is that he counts as a leader. That means that he gets to invade for free, and he gets whatever power you have, whatever upgrade card you've chosen for your leader will apply to him as well. Then you have, we'll do the Mystic Troll next. This is from Age 3, is it? Yeah, it's from Age 3. And it was a pretty cool sculpt, actually. He's interesting because even for Age 3, he's got a pretty low strength. It's only a strength of 2. But your figures invade his province for free. So you can slap him down there for 2, and then just... I mean, you could even do it for... you can do it for Yggdrasil. He can't go in there directly, but you can... I just remembered I didn't mention that in my main review of the game. Oh, well, whatever. You can put him down to the board, invade a different province, move him into Yggdrasil, and just flood that area with your dudes for free, which is pretty cool. And then there's the Wolfman. The Wolfman probably has the most... I don't want to say selectively useful. It could always potentially be useful, but in the right circumstance, it's really useful. But the Wolfman's special ability is that when he is involved with a battle, only other monsters count their strength, and your other monsters. That's it. So he can go into an area with just a bunch of another player's warriors and just dominate completely, which could be really, really powerful. Okay, that is it for all of the Kickstarter exclusive, like random stuff. Now let's talk about the Gods of Asgard. Okay, the Gods of Asgard mini expansion is going to add these Asgardian gods, as you might imagine from the name, into the game. You have all of them are here: Thor, Tyr, Loki, Heimdall, Odin, and Frigga. They're all here. They're all represented. Odin actually has a miniature that is in 2 pieces, which I thought was pretty interesting. So you can actually see the detail behind him on the throne of Yggdrasil, depicted on his throne. But how these work, at the start of the game, you're going to shuffle up all of these god cards, and you're going to pick 2 at random. And they will be the only gods that you will use for the entire game. I guess you could use more if you want to. I wouldn't recommend that. Put the bases on them, and then you're going to use the Ragnarok province tokens that are still in the game to determine where each of them is going to start. They have to go into different provinces, and they're going to move around every time a battle is a pillage is initiated in a different area, or if an area gets nuked at the start of an age, and so on and so forth. Essentially, what they do is just have an effect on whatever province they're in, depending on which different god it is. So Frigga, in Frigga's province, no figures can be destroyed for any reason during a battle. So if she's there, she just prevents people from getting killed. In Heimdall's province, battle cards are played face up one at a time, with the pillaging player playing last. Tyr says that in Tyr's province, there you go. In Tyr's province, all figures' strength count is 0. Only battle cards count their strength during battle. Thor is that the winner of the battle in Thor's province gains 2 glory per enemy figure destroyed. Loki the Trickster. In Loki's province, the players that lose a battle gain battle glory instead of the winning player. And finally, Odin the All-Father. If you successfully pillage Odin's province, gain the pillage reward again. So that's the gods. All they do is just add a couple of wrinkles into the mix, since you're only using 2 at a time. Now let me show you the Mystics of Midgard. Alright, so finally we have the Mystics of Midgard expansion. This adds a new type of unit that all of the clans could potentially use. At the start of the game, each clan is going to take the appropriate Mystic card for their clan and put it off to the side of their board. These aren't deck cards. They have a completely different back on them. They just put them next to your player board, and it will denote that is what your Mystic currently is. So if you gain a Mystic during the course of the game, the same way that you would any other upgrade. In fact, you kind of treat them like monster upgrades, because you get to take the unit when you take the clan upgrade card. They count as clan upgrades, but you'll physically take the unit and add it to your reserve when you take it. We'll get back to that in a second. So this card is just letting you know that they are all strength 2, and they invade for free, just like a leader. And there are 2 different mystics for every clan. They all have different sculpts. I'm not going to show you all of them, but you get the idea. So that means you can never have any more than 2 mystics at any time. However, there are 3 different types of upgrade cards that when you gain them, each mystic that you have gains that special ability. So even though you may only be able to have 2 physical mystics, you can take all 3 of the different types of mystic upgrade cards to get all of those abilities and have them apply to each of your mystics. There's an Age 1, Age 2, and Age 3 card. The Age 1 card is Frigga's Chosen. You add 1 mystic to your reserve, and your mystics may retreat to an adjacent outer province instead of being destroyed. Odin's Chosen, you add 1 mystic to your reserve, and your mystic may invade a village occupied by a warrior or mystic, destroying that figure. And Thor's Chosen, you add 1 mystic to your reserve, and each time you win a battle, gain 3 glory for each of your participating mystics. So it's just another powerful type of unit you have, better than warriors, almost as good as your leaders, but they can be upgraded to make them even better. That is the last of the Kickstarter extra stuff that I'm going to show you today. Let's get to my final thoughts. Well, as with any time where I'm covering multiple different mini expansions at the same time, it's going to be a mixed bag. So let's talk about the exclusive stuff first, because I think that's the thing that people are going to be agonizing over if unfortunately they were late to the bus on this. And by the way, I'm still kind of in your camp, because I didn't realize that the 5th player extension, while that will be available later, if you pledged for it during the campaign, there were some exclusive bits you got as part of that. And I'm like, well, okay, I mean, that's getting into the ridiculous part, and it's one of the few things I don't like about Cool Mini or Not. So I feel your pain at least partially if you didn't get some of this stuff. But like I said, some of it shouldn't be too hard to get. Now, the exclusive stuff, some of it, like I said, is just cosmetic, and you don't have to worry about too much. It's nice to have the sculpted bits, but you shouldn't lose sleep over it. As the same as having the extra clan. You may like the color purple, but it's the same as any of the other clans, and since this doesn't allow you to play with 5 players necessarily, then you shouldn't worry about that one too much either. The monsters, however, are super cool. I'm sorry, they just are. Especially Fenrir. I love Fenrir. That guy is so cool. That alone can make a Ragnarok strategy work out very, very well for you. Like, oh, well, wherever I put him, as long as he doesn't get killed beforehand, that's where the nuke is going to hit, and I'm just going to make sure all my guys are there, and then I get a ton of stuff. So I really like the power that gives you over the Ragnarok scoring. Then the hill giant that counts, or the mountain giant that counts as a leader. The Wolfman is very interesting, very selectively useful, but still a lot of fun. Same thing with the Mystic Troll. They're not going to be useful in every situation, but when they are, they really are. So unfortunately, I hope that you can get the exclusive monsters because they are super cool. The other 2 smaller expansions are more mixed. Now, the Mystics of Midgard are cool because, again, it's more units. It's just like monsters, essentially. But they're not necessary. They do add a little more complexity. I probably wouldn't play with them the first time that you play if you get this expansion. But they're neat. It's neat that you can get the different upgrades for them, and they get level up over time, which makes them better than the other types of units that you get. But again, not strictly necessary, but they do have other sculpts, so that's a cool thing. The Gods of Asgard are the most unnecessary. I would play with the Mystics of Midgard every time just because I have them, and why not? The Gods, even though they don't add a lot of complexity to the game, they're kind of just, they're easy to forget. Like, all the time we were like, oh, we were supposed to move the Gods. That's how forgettable they are, and it just feels like a pain when you forget and you have to go back. Like, where was he supposed to go? Okay, do we care? Does anyone care where he goes? Okay, he's just going there. Or she's just going there. I mean, that's how they are. They do have an effect. They're significant, but it feels like completely unnecessary to the game. It feels like the most tacked on thing. Like, go there, because if Thor's there, he's going to get you more points, but then you're going out of your way to do that, and it's not for a ton of points anyways. So I would honestly not go out of my way to get the Gods of Asgard expansion unless you're trying to be a completionist or you just want the minis, which are cool. I'll admit that, but it's the most unnecessary thing of all of this expansion stuff. Still, nevertheless, I think the Mystics are kind of cool. I love the exclusive monsters, and if you want to be a completionist, there's certainly a lot of stuff to feed that urge. Those are the exclusives and expansions, some of the small expansions for Blood Rage from Coleman or Not. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.